it off your screen, Nick. Nick, go to Coinigy or something, dude.
Go to Coinigy, Nick. Go to Coinigy.
Go.
Okay.
Good grief. Hopefully nobody saw that. Oh man. Oh man. All right, guys. It's V the Girl Economist, and we got our crypto mavens here, our two mavens, and they're here. It's Nick and Z, and we're breaking down all the things crypto. And we got the man Simply Frank. He's working in the background, taking notes, handling everything, doing his thing like he only Simply Frank can. And with that being said, let's get into it, guys. Where do you want to begin?
Well, we got a bunch of questions from our Slack room for the traders. I don't know if you guys want to start. Well, if you want to start with Bitcoin first, I know we like to look at Bitcoin.
Yeah, we can start with Bitcoin first.
Yeah, we'll do a quick Bitcoin update. But yeah, we do have a lot of questions that
great questions, by the way. Awesome questions.
Yeah, definitely. We want to try to get to them all if we can. So I'll show you guys a chart that I posted last night, because one of the things in this game that, as Crypto Z and myself will tell everybody, that all the alts tend to, they're all affected by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is essentially the dollar, much like the dollar is to the stock market. You go, you buy some stocks, you trade from the dollar into the stock, you sell your stock back into the dollar, and then you use your dollar to buy other stocks. Bitcoin is very much like that. For the time being, there may be some changes happening in the future, but that's how the market acts right now. So, when Bitcoin makes a big movement, then generally what we see is a drop in the altcoins. If it makes a big, fast movement that's unexpected, especially, we'll see the altcoin prices all go down. What people are often doing if Bitcoin goes down is they are selling out of their alts, and then they want to sell out of Bitcoin into the dollar or whatever fiat they want to sell into, or perhaps they may be selling into USDT or something like that, which acts like the dollar. And then once Bitcoin hits what people think is the bottom, they buy back in. And then once Bitcoin stabilizes, then you'll see the alt prices oftentimes start to kind of go up, because people, in my opinion, they just kind of get bored with Bitcoin and they want to find a place to make some money and make some Bitcoin to get back into Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up, similar actions happen. Last night, I saw, with some supports and resistances. And by the way, on the cryptoschool.io, Frank, do we have that video for the supports and resistances up?
Yep, for our members, everything's up now. A lot of new stuff last couple of days. Yeah, a
lot of new stuff. Z and Crypto Z and Frank did an awesome video on 6 coins that Z that has coming out, just as a side note to everybody. And we can talk about that video in a minute. I tend to make money when Z tells me buy this coin. That's kind of usually how things go. So, the support and the resistance here. Okay, if we're looking actually at the graph, this is the current price. This is what's happening right now. We had this sort of a upward bullish channel, almost kind of like a sort of a flag, and it went up to a resistance that I saw at about 9,100. And there's also another resistance up at 93 that I don't have on here. It's not, the price hasn't touched it all. I'll put it up here so we can all just kind of see it. However, last night, I'm going to move to a different chart. I posted this last night. So basically, this resistance is that 9,100. Okay. And so we could just kind of see how we do things over at the Crypto School. Everybody paid for this, so I couldn't put it out for free last night. But now that it's old news, we can kind of see how I do my charting, and how Crypto Z does his is very similar to mine. So, what I did was Bitcoin had broken out and it got up to this 9,100 resistance, and it seemed to be holding. So I put here that, if it holds right here, if it holds above that 91, we could see a reach up to that 93 resistance. And then if it doesn't, it'll break downward, and it'll probably come to this, possibly all the way down to 83. And then, of course, if it were to go up here, we could see these other actions happening as well. Well, lo and behold, if you look at today's chart, we actually went all the way up to that 91, and we broke downward towards this 8,800 resistance.
Witchcraft.
Yeah. So look,
I'm
so
talking about your accuracy. It's witchcraft. We're gonna have to bring that to stake.
thank you, Frank.
You know,
I appreciate that.
Nick, really, it just goes to show how what you and Z do is just bloody amazing.
It's crazy.
Folks, you don't understand. Okay, you don't understand. Look, there are so many bloody friggin' charlatans running around stealing people's money. Stealing people's money. I'm talking about guys who are used car dealers, legit.
They totally.
I'm not talking about like when previous show I was on with Bix, I was showing my Frank. I was sharing on the our used vehicle inventory that we have the access to exotic vehicles that Frank and I have access to because we have a network of connections.
We got connections.
We're not talking about guys who are hawking Ferraris and Bentleys and whatnot that Frank and I have access to. And believe you me, we do. I'm talking about dudes, selling Geo Metros in a used car lot somewhere in the Carolinas. I'm talking about dudes who have no business doing what they're doing. They cannot do TA because they're friggin' mentally retarded. I'm talking about dudes who are psychopaths and sociopaths who don't care, who have no respect for money. They have no fear that, oh my God, I'm taking $1, that another human being is entrusting me with $1 that I'm going to go take, that I'm based upon my recommendations and opinions. They are giving me this dollar in order to make it something more, in order to make it $2, in order to make it $5, in order to make it 10, in order to make it 100. These animals who, after doing a little bit of research of what's out there in the cryptoverse and who's offering advice and who's offering trade rooms, it gets my blood boiling. If I were to see these guys in public, I think I'd put both their heads through a wall. I'm livid. I'm not going to mention any names, but I am livid. So when I see Nick and Z up here, and I love these guys, these are A-class gentlemen. Why? Because they're great. They're incredibly brilliant. You know how I know that? They weren't hawking used Geo Metros and Kias at a used car lot. These guys were engineers. These guys have engineering backgrounds. So they're brilliant. Okay? And they're humble about it. And they have respect. And they have decency. And they have morals. At the end of the day, these guys want to be able to go to sleep at night. I can never, and none of us here, and I speak for Simply Frank as well. None of us here.
That's my name.
Simply Frank. None of us here could take $1 from somebody and go to sleep.
Nah.
And do nothing and lose people's money. Lose people's money.
Mm-hmm.
Day after day, week after week, month after month, and telling people, don't worry, the market's just turning around. Hello, moron. These morons that are running these trading rooms out there. Anybody could look like a genius when the market turns around. Anybody is a genius. Hell, my pet dog is a genius in a bull market. But when it's a bear market, when there's blood on the streets, you better damn make sure the $300, $400 you're blowing, $500, $600, $700, $1,000 you're blowing month after month in an idiot's trade room where he gives you no technical analysis, where that fat bastard just comes on there and gives you a trading recommendation and he disappears on a chat room. You better damn sure be careful.
Mm-hmm.
You better damn sure be careful.
See a lot of guys out there trying to snipe your money, aren't they?
A lot.
Guys, you have to realize something, that if you actually look at the value of your investment from November and December time till now, essentially what, three months later, if you actually look at the value of your investment, you'll see that most of these investments have retraced back to their November, December times. And that's the premise of these trading rooms, is that they're supposed to get you through these hard times. They're supposed to protect your investment so that, teach you, at least give you the tools to be able to protect your investment at least. And it's really sad to see these people that, made a ton of money in December, made a ton of money in November, and then, hey, look, it's, January, February, and now it's March, and everything is back to the way they were. They lost a ton of money. Some people got in during the January, February bloodbath, and they're just bleeding out. It's a real shame.
At 350.
Yeah, buying Litecoin. I mean, it's just a shame. I mean, it's a really shame. I mean, yes, you know, is there a good chance that Litecoin could recover in 6 months from now? Right? Yes. Do I personally think that Litecoin will be 350 in 6 months? I do personally think Litecoin will be 350 in 6 months. But that's not the point. The point is so that you can build it up, and you know, you can protect your investment, and you can grow with the market, and you know, stop when the market's tanking. And just, it's a real shame that we're starting to uncover more and more information about these channels that charge a lot of money.
Yeah, that's the thing I was gonna say. You know, V and I mean, you guys have been doing this, you know, trade room stuff a lot, but V and I opened this up with you guys. We could tell we could trust you. You're smart. You were giving us a lot of information. And we love the way that you operate, because it's bold but done in a cautious way. There's no getting creamed on one thing here, right?
Yeah.
But the reason V's heated up is because the messages just won't stop. Where people are saying, I mean, I'm about to read in a few minutes. I'll read a question that is very typical of what people are saying to us in our own room. That's why he's pumped about it, because we're getting people saying, "Oh, it's such a relief to be here. I'm learning so much because I just lost $100,000." In some other room. And it's like, oh, come on. I mean, you know, no one can control what happens with the market. The price of Bitcoin got cut in half. No one can control that. But the kind of stuff that, you know, as we watch you guys for education and entertainment purposes only, we watch what you guys do. It's just, it's such an intelligent way to get in and out, to grow your bag of Bitcoin. Just loving it. And people are experiencing that same thing. And the incredible thing is, the Watch Us Trade Room hasn't been open for 1 day in a bull market. We've only existed in a very harsh, like, people will talk about the 2018 bear market in the beginning of the year. Like, this is a thing for, like, this is something people will talk about for years. This was like this was a bad one, right? And yet that we've only had our doors open during this bear market, and people are saying, oh, what a relief, 300% here. It's funny. I'll make a little confession, guys. I've been, just with stuff in my life and stuff we're doing in our business, I've been too busy to actually really follow the calls myself. and just last night I was like, okay, I'm sick of it, because everybody's like, oh, you know, I get all these messages from people, Frank, this is amazing, this is what happened, blah blah blah, and I'm like, all right, I'm sick of it. I'm not gonna miss out. I'm not gonna miss out while I answer support emails on our own business here, right? So sure enough, I look for something, you know, that Z was doing, and I did my own research and thought, you know what, this looks right for me. And man, it was great. You know, just looking at what Z was talking about, and some of the news that we had, very timely news updates from Z on this particular one. Of course, Cowboy has great stuff too. This just happened to be one with Z. And it was, man, it was epic. You know, ended up with more BTC than I started with, and it was like, wow, I see why people are so excited about this. This is just, it's a smooth, educational, helpful experience. It's not all hype and FOMO. It's just understanding the way the market works and benefiting from it. And what an awesome, positive experience.
Yeah, we you know, listening to everybody talk, there's so many great points. And so when it comes to trading, it's a big world, and we have a lot of people who they want to learn it all at once. And I appreciate that. That's how I know, you know, Crypto Z and I got into cryptos at the same time. I had heard, you know, I think it was Bix. Bix was like, yeah, Ethereum, and I looked into it, and it was on Rogue, and you know, so I looked into Ethereum, and you know, Z and I got into it, and we wanted to know how to do everything now.
I wish just letting you guys know, I wish I listened to Cowboy earlier. You know, he called Ethereum when it was like $70, $70, and I was just, he was like, dude, you know anything about Ethereum? And I was like, dude, quit wasting your time and money, bro. What are you doing? Like, God. And this is Cowboy and I, like, miserable on the job site, going,
yeah, he's miserable on the job site, standing out underneath like an umbrella with like a mountain. I'm like miserable on the job site in the trench with a shovel, like because we're working for a company that at this time didn't have enough money to pay for workers. So Z and I were out there like doing the work,
doing the work ourselves, just like
Yeah, you guys had office jobs. Why were you had like they made you like put on the hard hat?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Well, I was
I gotta
actually
hear that story one day.
Oh yeah, I
You
was
told us a little
multi-role.
bit,
Z's more the engineer side, and I was on the construction management side at that point, and I had worn a lot of hats in that company.
We just wear any hat that they put on us. I mean, one day, it's just another hat, and it was one of those moments.
One day I would be like working on this giant natural gas compressor, face full of black grease and stuff, and the next day I'm down in San Diego, like, getting them to sign on to like a $200,000 deal wearing a suit. Like it was just really,
it was everywhere. But yeah, so Cowboy told me about Ethereum at like $70, and I didn't even listen to him. I was just like, dude, I'm just so miserable in my life right now, and then somebody else told me, and then I heard another person told me, and then I was just like, all right, I got to listen to this.
Yeah, so we got in, we wanted to know it all, and kind of back to more of the point that I want to get across here is that people say, oh, can you teach me? Like, well, we don't really, we don't give financial advice. This is all for entertainment. We are able to, of course, teach nuts and bolts. We can show, oh yeah, this is the button you push to make this happen on this website. We can show all that, but the reality is that to learn how to trade and do all of this, we actually are open kimono. We show our charts. Yeah. The charting that I did at the beginning of this conversation to show you what I did last night. My entire explanation of what I'm doing includes why I'm doing it, what the catalyst in the market might be. Hey, we like this coin. We see this kind of price action. This is what we see happening with the product in the next so many days. And we actually stay on. Like, I think Z and I, between the two of us, were on for a total of more than 24 hours yesterday. But if you add up our time, we don't just show up and put out a call and go away.
I have a funny story.
I don't babysit your trade.
Yeah, there's actually one guy in the room who just told us, like, these guys don't sleep. I mean, quite honestly, I actually really enjoy it. So, Cowboy and I have been doing this some time now, and I've been in other trade rooms in which I was a customer, and so forth when I first started and whatnot. And this has been like one of the most pleasurable experiences, just being in there, like talking with these guys, just letting them know like my perspective on things. But a lot of times, we talk about cryptos, we don't talk about cryptos, we talk about other stuff like silvers and metals and so forth. It's really cool. I myself learn a lot from these guys.
Oh, the rogue crowd. The rogue crowd is killer.
The rogue crowd is great.
Yeah, the rogue crowd's killer. And I'm sorry, Frank, there's one last thing that I wanted to make sure got through, because V said it in the beginning. Anybody can look like a genius in a bull market. And I'm afraid that some of these other people who run call rooms, some of the big ones with the big names, the ones that the ones where, a lot of people are having a hard time with, they're losing money. A lot of times they have gotten in and made a name for themselves back in December when all you had to have was a pulse to make money. Mm-hmm. And a pulse is like optional. You could be a dead person making money in that market. What happens is now Z and I, when we saw that, we took profit. Right now, I don't know that there are a couple of rooms, and we don't mention names here in the show because I want to be polite. But basically, there's a couple of rooms where people are just in all these terrible long-term trades.
Oh, they're so terrible, terrible.
Dude, you made all of a sudden it's, I broke 6 figures. Yeah, a lot of people, that's kind of their big milestone they break. I broke 6 figures in December, and then they stay in their trades. What are you doing?
They stay in their trades. They don't have any sort of safety factor in their in their investment. They listen to this Joe Schmo who has no business giving advice. Entertainment, quote unquote entertainment, in my perspective, and they stay in these terrible coins, and then guess what happens? Like I just said, it retraces back to November. Everything that you guys have gained goes back, and it's just whatever. V and I are a little bit heated up this morning. From just we see these screenshots. It's not even a secret. It's one of those things where you just Google and it just really, really upsetting stuff.
Yeah,
And
this is what people send us, man. People are we're not even asking for it. People are, hey, this is the trading room I belong to. Look at these calls. What do you think? And they give us a screenshot, and our jaws hit the floor.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's disgusting. It shows me very clearly that these guys are conmen. I have no other way of putting it, but it's if it smells like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And it's just like, it's straight up being a con artist, man. It's sociopathic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's taking advantage of advantage of people, and this space is really small, guys. It's a very small space. Word gets around really fast, and I can tell you right now, that's just not going to last, and it's a shame that he's just not looking to kind of grow and expand the space out. He's just in it for the quick run, and it's a real shame.
Yep.
Hey, we got sorry, go ahead, V.
Go ahead, Frank.
I was going to say we got questions from our Slack, and one of them is really relevant to this actually, because it starts with a testimony from someone who got burned, and their questions take it from there. So, in fact, I think this is the guy who was saying you don't sleep. And I'll throw one other quick story in. I just answered an email like an hour before we got on, and the person's in Australia, and they had some technical issues joining because of their phone number, blah blah blah. So, and he was saying, hey, because I'm in Australia, you think it's going to be good for me? And I was like, well, Z is up really late. So I was like, you'll probably be on the same time zone with him. And I was like, aside from that, you'll find plenty useful in there. But it was funny. That was the first thing I thought was
it's really cool because yeah, Cowboy wakes up really early. He's up and going at like 5 a.m. right, and I'm sleeping at like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. these days. So it's really cool because we have a just like a small little window right there where we don't cover something, which is great.
Cool. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, people, please, we were talking about this the other day. We don't want to kill these guys. So things are a little quieter on the weekends. They still pop in. But let's not destroy them. We want to benefit from their wisdom without killing them. All right, so here's our first question. So this one starts off with and I solicited these specifically for the program today, so I'm assuming it's okay that I read them out. I'll do a slight bit of editing on this. So here's a great question from our Slack chat in Watch Us Trade, which is all done in text. It's not a video site. It's a Slack room. So not sure if this would make a good question. Actually, it did, man. It made it to the top of our list. And I'm assuming he writes, I'm working for a bankrupt oil refinery in the Northeast U.S. It's been in the news a lot. And he basically goes on to say, not so sure the job's going to be there too much longer. So I'll summarize it to that. Do you/they, meaning our traders, think that it's possible for someone who has been involved in the cryptos for under a year and is relatively new to trading to be able to accrue the equivalent of $300 a day? Okay, so he's looking for a budget to live off of here. I'm studying how to read the charts. I'm in the trading room and would be starting with about 30K USD. I was with another trade call guy that you guys have referenced. I don't think we referenced him, but maybe he picked up on something there. And he says, like everyone else, my crypto account dropped from 150K to 30 with almost no guidance. I'm determined not to let that happen again by getting educated. Sorry for the long-winded. Not at all. It's a great question. So the heart of the question there with all that other info is, you think it's possible with a 30K account to start generating about 300 a day just trading? And so he's looking for a perspective from two guys who did it. Okay, not financial advice, just looking from some guys who actually made this happen. You guys got any wisdom for this?
Yes. So I'm just, so I'll just give a little bit of a success story right now on recent. It's not even my success story. We have a gentleman inside of our room right now, guys, who trades with 2 Bitcoin. Trades with 2 Bitcoin, and he has been making upwards of 0.03 Bitcoin a day.
Wow.
On
And can you break that down
two,
in US dollar
yeah,
terms?
what's
Bitcoin. Yeah. So think about, all right, let's just say Bitcoin is 9,000 right now, just to make it easy for people, right? So so let's see.
Z, don't do math, please, dude. Don't do math. No, well, I'd say make it 10 grand at least. Make it really
Okay,
easy.
so he's essentially making $270 a day right now on 2 Bitcoin, which is worth $18,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the way to look at that. To answer the question really directly, if you have $30,000 and you make 1% a day, that's $300. So now, Z and I have been doing some pretty good trades, right? And our trades are getting way more than 1% a day. I think I did a trade that was a lackluster trade yesterday that ended up doing like 15%. So 15% on $30,000 comes out to what, $4,500. So basically, that ought to tell you right there. If you can do 1%, you got it.
Yeah. At the same time, you're not putting your entire portfolio into every single trade.
No.
So
no.
Correct.
You guys obviously have way more experience than me, but I would just put this out there, that you're to the person who asked the question, you're in a great place to start. I would keep rolling with it and see what your results are. And I think you'll be very, very pleased. I think you'll see that. And when the bull market comes back,
Oh, it's gonna, guys. I'm so excited. I'm honestly
laugh
so
at
excited.
150K when the bull
I'm honestly so excited for the bull market to come back, and just know that Cowboy and I, we started with $4,000. We started with $4,000, and it's been enough for us to quit our jobs. Let's just say that.
Yep.
Okay, that great answer, guys. Yeah, hang in there. I don't know. I can't say screen name. I just can't figure it out. All right, C Money. Zcash. She's basically asking about Zcash as well as thoughts on Ethereum. Wants to know if we found a new floor at 460. I think that's about the Ethereum.
I can chart
some
that live.
TA on Zcash, FA on Zcash would be great.
Okay.
SA.
All right, so what's it called? Cowboy can tackle the TA part right here. I will tell you guys about the FA and sort of the SA of Zcash. So Zcash is actually very cool. I actually really like Zcash. It is one of the oldest cryptocurrencies out there. It actually was created in 2016, or it could have been before that. But it's been around for a while, so it's actually stood the test of time, which is a big deal. A lot of people, are always looking for the next best thing, but Zcash is actually great. Zcash, to start off with, the sentiment analysis on Zcash is very, very strong. The reason behind this is because people lock up Zcash. They lock it up into a masternode, and essentially, for those of you who don't know what a masternode is, it's like a program that the coin developers create for the users that will allow you to essentially show proof of stake, show that you are truly in this coin and you do believe in the project. You meet a certain requirement, you pull the specific amount of tokens or specific amount of coins, and it gives you a bonus back every single day or every single month. It actually pays you back. So Zcash is incredible because Zcash, it actually has the highest payout of any masternode out there. That means the rate of return for Zcash is massive. It is actually more profitable to own Zcash, especially if it rises up in value, than to own a Dash node. And for those of you who don't know what Dash node is, the coin Dash, I think a node right now for Dash is worth like $2 million, something like that.
Wow, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So Zcash is actually great. Zcash is a form of, it's a form of currency very similar to Bitcoin. However, it provides privacy as well, and it's relatively fast. It's not super fast because it is an old coin, but it is strong, and I know that it's a hedge fund favorite for crypto people that like to follow where the big money goes. Zcash is a crypto hedge fund favorite. I have personally looked at the decks of at least 40 crypto hedge funds by now, and Zcash has turned up in every single one of them.
Very cool.
Good old Zcash. Yeah, that's always been. That's been around for a while, man. You just like it because it's got Z in it, dude. Don't fly.
I do. It has a soft spot for me. I just, I can't afford to own a Masternode, which unfortunately turns me off a little bit. But yeah, for those of you who did get a Masternode, you guys are in good shape.
Very cool. Very helpful.
So, yeah, we got the chart up. So, I'm gonna back up a little bit. I mapped out, and this is Ethereum. We wanted to find out if we have a new floor at where it is.
Right.
So if you look at Ethereum and Litecoin are interesting to look at because you can always look at the Bitcoin pairing or the USD pairing, and I do look at both. And that's what makes Ethereum and Litecoin a little bit difficult to chart because you have to look at both. You have to consider possibilities on both, and then you sort of have to like do math and. So looking at USD, we have a pretty decent support right here. Your long-term hard support is a little bit lower. It's right about here. That's so it's good that I just did that. But so right now we've sort of, as we came down, we broke through the support at 680-ish. And then as we went down, we wicked down. The wick went down and touched 464. And we're having kind of like a little bit of a rise up. Well, you see most of your retracements, especially like your kind of harder red candle retracements, they do tend to sort of have a rise up and then a fall. They drop, they have a rise up, and then they'll fall. There was a little resistance right here at this support. The support actually kind of provided, a little bit of a, I don't want to use the word resistance, it's confusing, but it provided like a cushion. So it kind of wanted to hang out here, but it just broke right through there. So we wicked down here. The fact we haven't touched it yet and the fact that we came back up does give me some confidence. Like there's sort of like an invisible support right here. But what I did in that case was I sort of looked at this from a Fibonacci perspective. And for the rise, I think I'm going to start right here. So a Fibonacci retracement kind of gives us another idea where most people are going to either, take profit or where things might balance, where people say, oh, it's at this, level, I'm going to buy again. Supports and resistances, I think, are a little bit more accurate with that. But sometimes there are things that Fibonacci can do that doesn't do. When they line up, when your Fibonacci lines up with your supports and resistances, then you're that's good news because it's just an extra indicator. In this case, we have a nice lineup right here. We have a nice lineup right here. Now, it did look like it bounced off the 786. And I like to see bounces at 786. 786 is pretty close to this resistance down here, so it's probably pretty strong. This could be our floor at 464. Okay, it could. However, excuse me there, this is not a long-term support. This is just a support that was kind of on the way up the big rise. So if I take this away, the way that I would actually chart this, let me take this out. I would look at it like this. And this is the actual process I go through, for the calls and a lot of people in the call room. This is what I do. Like, this is my favorite thing to do all day. So we could see a drop down.
Oh God, jeez, I just saw that. I was talking in the Slack. Jeez.
Well, are you terrible. Okay there, Z? What
no, I just saw the ETH chart and it looks terrible.
Oh, dude! I'm like, oh, somebody,
no, it just looks terrible.
I thought you started talking to Gene again. I don't know where. Yeah, Gene. Z yesterday, like we had one of our guys in the room, Gene, had put a comment out, and like we were talking about, I don't know, something entirely different, and Z's just in his own world. Oh yeah, Gene, sure. Like, Z, where you at, bro? Like, We didn't know what she was.
I'm telling you, man, I love this. I love this room so much. And I love just like reading and talking to people. It's great.
Yeah, that's the fun part. So let's do this real quick here. So what I'm doing is I'm mapping a potential. Yeah, the chart looks terrible. What I think will happen is I think we'll have a drop. It always could go up. I mean, that is a possibility. We could go up from here. Okay, that's always possible. Based on what I'm seeing, I don't like it. We've got Ichimoku with the blue is well below the red, and it's actually diverging, so that's not a good sign. You got what's called a bear flip, where you have a red cloud up here, meaning that it's going to continue to be bearish. The cloud's getting thicker, not smaller. But here, I think we're going to dip down to 469 area, possibly even down to this longer term and stronger support of what is this? 395. So 400. 400 is a nice round number, nice psychologically important number. So there you go. It's probably going to be either 465 or 400.
Very helpful. Thanks, man. Okay, let's get on to we got some more time, right, guys? Yeah, we started pretty late, so we got some more time.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. Go as long as you guys want.
All right, cool. Thanks, V. Next
man.
one. This is from CWT. Would love to hear some analysis of EOS. Wouldn't you?
EOS.
You want fundamental, you want technical, or you want sentiment?
Bring it.
Or you want, is Z analysis?
Z, bring it all and show these
bring it all,
amateur
man.
punks in these other trade rooms who just like to do on little. They go on their little IM messaging things with no technicals. Show these punks how it's done, Z. Go ahead.
So EOS is actually one of my new favorite coins. I actually really like EOS, and I actually wrote inside the trade room that I was gonna potentially try to pick some up at the very bottom of that dip, which actually dropped down to 48 or something, or 50. And I actually called Cowboy that day. We're actually looking at it, but I wasn't sure because we want to exercise risk management in there. So because BTC was doing crazy stuff, it just wasn't the right time to make a call on it. But for EOS is actually great. I really, really like it. EOS is a platform, guys. It is considered blockchain 3.0. The reason why it's called blockchain 3.0 is that Ethereum Classic is blockchain 1.0. Ethereum is blockchain 2.0, and EOS is blockchain 3.0. It involves both faster transaction times as well as a security feature within it. Because even though blockchain is relatively safe, it is still hackable. So EOS allows that. Now, EOS is the pioneer when it comes to transaction speeds, guys. There's a lot of other adapt platforms like Icon and so forth that tout very fast transaction speeds. The difference is that EOS, even though it is still in beta, it is still in alpha built out with the Dawn update, it actually has test dApps being built on it. That means that when EOS goes live in June, there is a very good chance that it will hit the ground running because it's been in production for so long, and that when it lands, there will be actual companies, actual dApps like other coins being already listed on EOS's mainnet. That's a big deal with a lot of these platform coins. Yeah. Like Icon and so forth. Unfortunately, when they launch a quote unquote mainnet, they have nothing built on it, and it takes some time for it to be built on it, and then the value of the coin drops. EOS is looking to hit the ground running so that its value stays the same and it actually rises up.
Hey, let me say just a little quick insight. In the past, I would have heard something like this from whoever, some person that I thought was smart. I'd be like, okay, I better go get more EOS, right? And like now it's so different with what I'm learning from you guys. It's like, okay, cool. I'll keep my ear to the ground and figure out a good entry point when the time is right, instead of just let me go and get a big holder bag of it and hope everything turns out in the future.
Let me tell everybody real quick about hope. There was something that when I was brokering commodity strategic metals, my boss, who is right now the head the head guy. He was the head trader of commodities for oh my god, I just went blank. He was the head guy for trading at Glencore. Okay, and right now he heads up BTD Pactual. He would always beat into my head. You could hope in one hand. It's an old New York term, I think. You could hope in one hand and you could shit in the other and see which piles up faster. Hope is not a strategy.
I love that.
Okay? Hope is not a strategy. You can crap in one hand and hope in the other and see which piles up faster.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Okay, because hope is not a strategy. You want to hope? You're stuck in 20 long trades with an a-hole. I'm going to call him hodl employee. Hodl employee. Okay. Some guy named hodl employee out there. That bastard who I would like to pick him up by his facial cheeks.
I'm muting while I laugh in the background. You know what annoys people?
Oh god. Oh god.
When I get screenshots of what the hell's going on in some of these trade rooms, you can understand how livid Z and I and Nick and Frank. Well, Frank's a jolly old guy, and not much that makes
jolly.
Frank
I'm
mad.
losing weight. Jolly.
Jolly. You're always in a good mood, man. You're a happy-go-lucky guy. You know,
it's honestly frustrating, guys. We keep exercising this, but today was sort of a shocker to me. Even I mean, I've been hearing stories, but and I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, right? Because I'm definitely not perfect by any means. But just seeing the way he's just interacted with his customers and the fact that he's not grateful. Exactly. Or he hasn't interacted with his customers. Plus the times he has interacted with customers, the amount of like sass and just like it just
the douchebag.
I'd slap the shit out of him. Yeah, I mean, you see, there you go. V brings it. I mean, it's honestly really upsetting, guys. And I want to help people. The money's great, but I would love to help everybody. And grow this space out with the few people that are inside this space, and it's just shitty because people like that just destroy the crypto space.
Yeah, they're poison and toxicity to this fledgling community, and it's a fledgling community. We're in the beginning stage. We're not even in the beginning stage of this whole entire thing. We don't need idiots and con men with criminal rap sheets messing this up.
Mm-hmm.
The question in the chat room: how do we spread this to the broader crypto community? Tell other people, come over here. Yeah. Take us for a test drive. You don't like us in a month? Leave.
It is such a. I mean, the price is just. I didn't even really know about the price until like 2 weeks ago, and it's just incredible deal, guys. I was just happy to just be inside and being able to, give entertainment, but it's just it's awesome. It's an awesome deal, guys. I can tell you right now, I've been in a lot of trade rooms before, and it's very expensive, especially now since people now trade rooms have existed now for a little bit of time. All these guys are getting bigger heads. They're charging more. Guys that used to charge $200 a month are now charging $800 to $900 a month now. The average fee now has risen up to $450 to $500 now. It's no longer.
That's going to come down a little bit as they continue to lose money for so many people.
It's no longer $300 actually anymore. Actually, recently, all the chat rooms that I'm in, just from being friends with these guys, have all risen their prices up to $450, $500. It's no longer a $300 game. Now it's a $450, $500 game.
We're still letting people in $149 for the first month. This is
and Rogue Money's
last few weeks.
Yeah, Rogue Money's deal is just it's great. I mean, and people are doing great in there, so whatever.
Yeah. All right, we want to get a couple more questions in.
We never really got just.
I'm sorry, bro.
EOS,
sorry,
correct.
Yeah, just a brief bit of FA on EOS. And there's what do you call it? Tech analysis on the long term, and I haven't done the math to actually verify whether or not this Elliott wave is validated, but it's looking Elliott wave-ish. So basically, you're looking at an asset that is probably finishing its first big wave, if you will. This is how things happen. You have a boom, then you have a retracement, but it doesn't go quite as low as it used to be, and then you have another boom that tends to go higher. So the Elliott wave right here, kind of shows that that possibility of what that could look like. And if in fact this Elliott wave is validated, we could be in the middle of another jump. And Z was talking to me, about EOS right where it says C.
Yeah. I actually called Nick the next. It's called Cowboy the next day, and I was just like, why didn't we trust the TA and trust the gut? Bitcoin, right? But it was honestly, it was the better thing to do to stay in Bitcoin in terms of risk management, because we were able to jump on all those different altcoins and have the funds to get on those crazy deals. But of course, we missed out on EOS, but we made it up with other ones. But yeah.
Yeah, we did. We got some great trades out of it.
Yeah, well, if you really think about it, we made more just by going on the other ones than just sticking with EOS.
Yeah, exactly. We won.
But EOS is great, guys. I really like EOS. I really like EOS.
Yeah, project is very cool.
The ZA is very strong.
Okay, Dan, very cool guy in our chat, would like to hear about. Oh, here we go. He's ready?
Got so much knowledge. Dan's got so much knowledge.
Yeah, I keep seeing people thanking him for stuff.
He's got so much knowledge. He's great. I mean, he even the stuff that doesn't even pertain to cryptos.
So our man Dan asks this. At Frank Dalala, I would like to hear about Ven. So I answered. I was like, I think Z might have something to say. So here's the full question. I would like to hear about Ven as a hodl coin.
Not only interviews.
Yeah, sorry guys. I don't know. Wrong button.
You're getting attacked.
So
he says, full question. I would. Okay. I'd like to hear about Ven as a hodl coin. Is that a good long-term hold?
So Ven, guys,
for Z.
Yeah, so Ven, guys, is just awesome. Ven, this is where sentiment analysis is so strong. Ven, I almost want to say, and remember, this is just my opinion, I almost want to say that Ven has the largest sentiment analysis, the strongest sentiment analysis in the game.
Wow.
And the reason why, it rivals Bitcoin, the amount that people love Ven. It really does. And it's really kind of crazy to hear, to say that, right? So Ven recently had a snapshot for what they call the X node program. We talked about masternodes earlier. Ven has a masternode program. And then they released this crazy sort of X node program that allowed early investors to get a bonus on their masternode payouts, just to kind of thank their early investors, right? That happened 2 days ago, and I just want to let you guys know that 51% of the circulating supply of Ven has now been locked up. More than half of the circulating supply of Ven that is currently on all exchanges across the crypto space have now been locked up. That means that the price of Ven will most likely go up. And when I say most likely go up, I mean that in the best, entertainment way possible. And Ven is just incredible. As a long-term FA coin, Ven is, the only coin that I know of that has true ties with the government. I mean, besides that Venezuelan coin, right? A petro coin or whatever. I guess
Oh, yeah,
I guess that.
talk about that news.
Right. So I guess
I covered that in the last show. It was hilarious.
Okay. Yeah. So if you guys want to check out Petro news, go check out Hump Day with Bix, that just aired. But yeah, Ven actually has an agreement with the Chinese government to build an entire city on Ven's platform.
Crazy.
That means that everything that is going to be built in the city, all the construction, all of the stores and whatnot will run on Ven's blockchain. And Ven is, and Ven is no longer just a supply chain coin, but Ven started off as a supply chain coin in a sense. It had the chip, it had the IO technology that linked to all of its manufacturing. Now Ven is also a DApp platform. And one of the perks for being a part of this X-Node program was that you were allowed to get in on all Venn ICOs coming forth. And there's one actually very interesting coming up. Should I give it here, or should I just post it in the room?
No. Save it for the room.
I'm gonna save it for a room, but there is an ICO coming up that Venn will be doing, and I'm gonna, they're doing a bunch of ICOs, but there's one in particular that I will be going in quite heavily myself, and that's
very cool.
And I think it's gonna do really, really well.
And to make it clear, because there's a lot of terminology that gets used that we sometimes forget that other people don't understand. What a DApp is and a DApp platform. So a DApp is a decentralized application. Okay, so basically it's a platform where you can build a decentralized application on it. Essentially, you can launch a coin that like Ethereum. You can launch coins in
correct.
Ethereum.
There you go. That's the number one DApp platform. Correct.
Yeah. But it's not is it a DICO platform though? Because
it's not a DICO platform. It is just it's just a DApp. DApp I think it's digital app, but I mean relatively the same. It's relatively the same because most cryptocurrencies are decentralized in their nature. So it's you're correct.
It functions the same as what I said.
It functions the same exactly. That's what you're saying. Correct.
Very cool.
So Venn. And when Z said close ties to the government, he didn't specify which one. Specifically, the Chinese government.
Specifically China. Yes. So it's a big deal.
That's if you ask.
One of our next questions was about
coins out of China.
Yeah, Russia. Chinese coins to look at.
Oh, Russia has an interesting one, Sandcoin, the one that Cliff's been including in his reports.
Yeah.
But if you guys watch our interview with Cliff, remember that he most likely will not be giving updates on Sandcoin because just like Skycoin and just like all these other coins, sand is a very general common term.
That's a really interesting insight that he gave that's helpful for those of us who devour his reports. Like, you asked Cliff about PayPy, and it was like, oh, why doesn't he talk about PayPy anymore? And he was basically saying it's just hard to do research on the name, that's what I took away from it anyway. I mean, it's very interesting. So that explains why sometimes he brings something up and then we don't hear about it again. So
it's just it's just too common of a word, pies. I mean, pay and pie, right?
Yeah. So this question, we have two questions left. One we already kind of started looking at, and then I'll bring up the last one. Any coins from Russia and China that are something to look at? Example, I think Venn was mentioned to be used in China somehow. So we covered the Venn part of the question, but any other interesting Russian or Chinese coins or tokens that you guys have any insight on?
Chinese specifically?
There's a few
government-related tokens is what they're looking at, because we've talked. I know Via's mentioned.
Oh, government, Russia, like specifically the government.
That's what.
No. Yeah, there is a chance. There is a chance that if you guys saw my top 6 coin video, one of those coins, there is a chance that it will be used as a utility function. Utility function with VAMI. Should I say the name? Of the coin.
No.
Okay, I'm not gonna say the name of the coin.
We're way too. We give away a lot here. So.
I'm not gonna say the name. The man simply known as Frank is preventing me.
What I would say is we got to be aware of thinking of, this coin comes from this country, because as time goes on, economically, this country, that country is going to matter less. So I think it's good to think about, Venn, it's related to, Chinese government, and that'll give it a big push. There's value in thinking about that. But, to look at a coin just because it comes from China or just because it comes from Russia, that could be part of the analysis, but I think it's dangerous. You're going to miss out on a lot of great coins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very helpful. Speaking of breaking out a little bit of the HODL mentality, here's a question for, I know all of us still HODL stuff, right? So to some extent. So here's
some of us on trade rooms, according to a certain HODL employee, is HODLing 20 long trades, losing money, losing their shirts, winding up HODLing all the way into a cardboard box. Go ahead, Frank.
Thanks, V. So here's from our friend Dakota Deb. She asks, so I said, you guys have any questions? She said, yes. HODL list, please. Also, any thoughts on Very? And she says she loves the coin shows. Thanks, Deb. So yeah, I don't know if you guys want to throw out. I said I would try to squeeze at least a short HODL list out of you guys. I know you guys keep a percentage. I know this isn't always the case. Sometimes you guys go all in because you like to party, but I know in general you keep a certain percentage just on the side. You're not trading with everything. So when you have something on the side, what does it tend to be in?
Well, okay, so the idea of hodling to me is being married to a paradigm. And so to me, if I end up holding something for a long period of time, that is for whatever the strategy is. So I hate to label that as hodl because hodl is just something that people say. Oh,
Right.
well, yeah, just hold on to it. Well, what the hell does that even mean? Like if you hold on to dollars for the rest of your life and you never spend them, they mean nothing. So I don't plan on holding on to anything forever. Like Bitcoin. If I'm going to have a reserve of coins that I know will have the best chance at an increase in value and a stable backing, things like Bitcoin and Litecoin, I will hold on to those. People may call that hodling, but I don't hodl anything. I refuse to. I've got some gems that I kind of put like, a small amount of my portfolio towards like a while ago, and I just lock them up and I don't touch them. I suppose you could call that hodling.
I think that's what most people mean by hodling.
Yeah, I would like to sort of just dispel what a lot of people think hodling is, because what if you hodl your
hodling is a strategy. It's something that you do in an entire plethora of strategies that you have with the ultimate goal of making more wealth and money for yourself. It's just one strategy. But when you become a hodl employee, where your only strategy, your only one-trick pony that you ride into town with is just hodl, then you are a victim. Then you fall into the category of hoping in one hand and crapping in the other and seeing which one piles up faster.
So
we the trick to seeing whether a trader is legitimate is, of course, right, seeing how they're doing, not just in the good market, but like V said, anybody can make money in the good market, right? But seeing how they perform in the bear market, guys, just really take that in perspective. A good trader is not only going to just say what everybody else is saying on these coins. It's, hey, look great. You know what? Litecoin went up. Hey, look great. Veritasium went up. Great. But what's happening right now? Like, what are they doing in between when the market's down? That is a sign of a good trader when they can actually pull off gains during this bear market. And I'm not going to say, but our room's doing pretty well.
But as far as
guys who had a whole bunch of Litecoin when it went to, what did it go to, 350? And those two guys, whose last names may be Dalala, would have loved to have had some insight on when the market looked like it was turning over and we should have backed out. That would have been very helpful to have some educational resources.
I would have held that guy in my arms and been like, it's time.
Instead of saying it's going to the moon, buy more, and getting more fiat in the market at the top, it would have been great to have the insight of some guys like you.
Yeah, so hodling Litecoin at that time. Well, what's the point? If one has the ability to say get it all into fiat at that time, you're not hodling anymore. Now if you're somebody who's not trading, if you are, say, like more of an investor or whatever the word might be, I suppose hodling is a strategy. You're not somebody who's in the market. You're not trading. You're not coming in and out of stuff. You're just going to buy something and look at it later because that's what you do. I'd say Litecoin and Bitcoin. Those are my two bets for that.
Yeah, do what you want, but if you've been suffering severe pain since December, there is a place on the internet where education awaits you. thecryptoschool.io. I'll just say that.
Yeah, opportunity cost is huge, guys. If you have a chance to take something that's not making that much money and put it somewhere where it makes money, you just put it back where you liked it into your hodl coin. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. the whole thing is this is about empowerment. It's about education. It's about learning how it's done, not some dipshit coming into a forum and saying, trade this.
Mhm.
All right, I'm gonna go make a sandwich now later. You don't need that. Okay, anybody could be a winner in a bull market. My God, I could train my pet cat to throw darts at stock charts and pick stocks in a bull market, and more often than not, it will probably score better than what you can get from a Goldman Sachs or a JP Morgan trader. Be honest with you, anybody could win in a bull friggin' market. I've had conversations with large fund managers at some of the biggest pensions in the United States. And it amazes me why they were losing money in managed funds when I told them, hey, would you just switch to an index fund? It's a no-brainer. It's a money machine, the market. And this was like a year and a half ago. It's a money machine. You see, everybody's a winner in a bull market. Everybody looks like a genius. What these HODL employees are doing, these HODL idiots, okay, they're all these strategies, HODL. They got crap calls. And what they're doing is they're going to other trading rooms, regurgitating bad ideas and bad habits and piss poor recommendations. That's all they're doing. And they're just regurgitating vomit. They don't know if it's true or not. They can't read a TA. Nobody's really put these guys to the test. Can they do what they do? Okay, Z and Nick, they do it all day, every day. Z and Cowboy do this all day, every day. This is what they do, and they back it up with some of the most badass technicals that other people are grabbing their technicals, talking about it, or plastering it out somewhere else.
Yeah,
that's how
people
badass these guys
People
are.
are stealing it for sure.
Yeah, stealing it verbatim. Okay, so you can put your money where your mouth is and show it. And people who've done business with me know how I operate. I bring it to the table. My network is no joke. The network that I'm connected to. So you want, whether gold, silver, whatever, commodities, right? You prove your metal. These guys, God knows where they're getting their friggin' ideas from. God knows where they're getting their concepts. No technical analysis. They can't do it. No nothing. And everybody's locked in 20 long trades. They're all losing money, and they're coming into our trade room and crying about it. And we're fixing the situation. Most people are like, "Wow, I've made more money in 2 days than I did in 6 months at the other place."
We always say that, guys. We're here to offer. We like to offer solutions.
That's what it's all about.
We like to offer
equals empowerment.
That's the whole thing with Rogue Money and the whole thing Remain Calm, right? We offer solutions.
That's what this whole thing's about, and that's what people need to understand. Look, these scammers will, I believe wholeheartedly, they will collapse in onto themselves in due time, but a lot of damage is going to be done from here on out. A lot of people are going to get hurt. I don't want to be anywhere near any of these characters when that blows up. Right, guys?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It's yeah. I personally, back to the question, guys, just real fast. Personally, I like to adapt combination of the two. So during an alt rally and during a healthy market, I like to have 40% of my bag personally in a long-term call. And before, my long-term call was PPT. Unfortunately, PPT didn't really pan out. So my long-term call right now could be a mixture of EOS, Litecoin, and so forth. And then from there, I trade up and I put my gains towards my long-term calls. But what Cowboy and I did during this bear market is that, unlike what a lot of people did, is that we actually sold a lot of it at the top, and we held in BTC as well as USDT and rode this wave down confidently, knowing that, hey, look, our portfolios, yeah, of course it did drop a little bit, but we are still relatively strong. We didn't tell you guys, hey, look, hold, these coins and let them bleed all the way down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very helpful.
All right, guys, closing comments. So he was
I can tell V's upset. I can tell V's upset.
I'm livid.
He's smoking.
I'm livid. I'm livid. I'd hang this guy by his man boobs if I could.
Yeah, for those who missed it, we got a little intel right before the show, and we were kind of just looking at it, and we were just gobsmacked. So if you're wondering why Z and V in particular are so upset, that's why. It's like, we knew there was some we hear rumors, right? But we saw a little bit of intel. It was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's really simple. And the last thing I'll say is that, Z and I, we like what we do. We are not sociopaths, so we're
definitely not.
Definitely not. Good guys.
No, we actually have a hard time sleeping at night when money is being lost in our portfolio.
I can personally vouch that Cowboy, had an opportunity back in the day, to remember that whole, the pump and dumps and whatnot. And I know that Cowboy just walked away from it, guys. This is a guy right now, which, is a better person than me in that situation. Because this is when I first started, and I just wanted to make, as much money as possible. I didn't know about this whole world really. And, they had these pump and dump rooms, right? And at one point, Cowboy was allowed to be in it because he knew the market. And, he walked away from that great opportunity. Well, not great opportunity ethically, but great opportunity monetarily. And he walked away from it because he's like, dude, I can't go to sleep at night knowing that, some guy is just buying into my dump. And he walked away from it. And, they're still, these rooms still exist. And I don't suggest you do them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Z never really got involved in it in the first place, but
no. I didn't even have the opportunity, but you got the opportunity. You walked away from it. That was, that's nice. Good, man.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of this going on in the space. So I think that doesn't make me a great guy or anything. I just think what most people probably do, but you're going to have some smart or some bad actors out there looking to take advantage. We're just here to have some fun. We love our job. We love providing entertainment, and we love what we do. So we love that people like to watch us do it. And that's where I'll leave it.
Absolutely. All right, my final word. Go to thecryptoschool.io. Listen, one thing to clear up for people, I don't get a lot of questions about this. Most people figure it out, but we have 3 distinct products that we offer at thecryptoschool.io. And you can have one, you can have all 3. We recommend all 3. Do you have to? Is there like a requirement? No, they're 3 separate purchases. 2 of them are reoccurring subscriptions, and one of them is a one-time purchase. And the one-time purchase, by the way, I mean, we added we had 4 videos to the educational suite at thecryptoschool.io this week. That's the one-time purchase. And then, of course, we have our community support Slack, which is a chat room. And then we have the Watch Us Trade Slack, which is also a Slack chat room. Slack is a program we use. People ask me about that too. Slack is just a really good tool for facilitating announcements and discussion. And that's what we mean when we say Watch Us Trade. It's not a live video feed or anything.
Hey, real fast, Frank. Joni, there's no need to use that kind of language inside this chat room, guys. I understand you made 200 times gain, and just so you know, I have made more than that, Joni. Just so you know, you're not anything special right now. A lot of people have made that kind of money, and I know I can tell you right now that Cowboy and I did make more than that. So calm down there, and just know that your gain on Very is congratulations. You opened the Cliff Report, right? And you don't curse us in this chat room, as well as curse the people in there. It's not necessary.
Yeah, I guarantee there's no videos on that account.
Yeah, he's just a random Joe Schmo talking about electronium too. Like, get out of here, dude.
Hilarious. Yeah, he's talking about the live chat on the YouTube video. People like
scrub.
That. I haven't seen anyone like that in any of our Slack rooms, and if they were, we kick them out.
No,
that's the other thing. It's a troll-free community because
it's troll-free community. Correct.
Trolls don't pay for stuff, people. If you want to be in a community where everybody has a great attitude and is psyched to be there, for one thing, we're not hard up on the cash that we would let a troll stay around in our room. For another, we've just found trolls just don't pay money. They just don't do it. And so that's the other thing about our 3 products. Yeah, so all 3 of those, we have the education. at the cryptoschool.io. We have the educational suite of videos, which is a one-time purchase. We have obviously the Watch Us Trade is a monthly thing. Get in now for that introductory pricing. It goes away in a few weeks. And then we have our very affordable $4.99 support chat, where my man Cryptolution is in there every day helping people out. A lot of great people in all of those rooms. And you'll find we've got great people like Crypto Cowboy and Crypto Z and Cryptolution in the support room. But there's also just very cool people who are part of the group who are very helpful, like our man Martin Doyle, who just came into the chat here.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
a lot of great people. So yeah, check it out, the cryptoschool.io, cryptoschool.io, and that's all I got. V.
Yeah, with that being said, guys, again,
it's in the description, guys. It's in the description.
It's in the description. Click the description link. It's right there, the cryptoschool.io. Watch us trade. If you're ready to trade, if you know about trading, you know your basics. If you don't know your basics, you want to learn how it's done. You don't spend $500 getting one little crappy video like some of you have done earlier in some other place in another crypto trade area type, educational type, outfit type, whatever. There's a plethora, and this is what I love about Simply Frank. Simply Frank, he uses his marvelous skills of creating systems and education. He puts that big brain of his to work in creating this beautiful system where he takes you through videos, instructionals, and the whole tutorials on how it's done from soup to nuts. He has videos in there from Z and from Cowboy, and it's awesome. So check it out. The Crypto School lifetime subscription, $297, and then when you're ready to trade after you go through that, go to the Watch Us Trade room. Limited time, because this is going to go up. It's $149.99 per month. You might say to yourself, "My God, that's a lot of money." Well, you're going to pay for that with your profits. Okay, you're gonna be paying for that with your profits from your crypto school. From your trades. You're gonna learn. You're gonna become proficient. You're gonna make your money, and you're gonna pay for that. It's not a big deal. That's how you cover those expenses, guys. You do it from your profits, and you never go broke taking profit. Like my man Dex always says, you never go broke taking profits. And with that being said, say again, Nick.
Oh, freaking love Dex, dude.
Dex is the man, bro. Great show yesterday with Dex. He had a lot of things to say about cryptos, so check it out. And unlike some people out there, Dex is actually a real trader. His S&P 500 trades go back to 2000, and I think goes back all the way to 2000. His trade book. So Dex is a legit dude, man. He's awesome.
You can look Dex up. You can actually find him. He's worked for the real deal.
Yep, exactly. Not a used car lot somewhere in the near south. And with that being said, folks, we got Z, got the Cowboy, got Simply Frank.
I hate my new nickname.
I love it. What do you want to be called?
Sorry,
honestly great.
I think it's great. Simply Frank is a wonderful name.
Simply Frank. A man named Simply Frank.
Lady in red.
At least it's not Simple Frank.
No. Simple Jack.
Simple Jack. It's just a man named Simply Frank.
Simple Frank.
You never go full.
Never go full retard.
I can't breathe. We really need to get off the air.
Maybe I should change your name, man. Now that I think of it, I don't want people to think Simple Frank.
It's not. There's a Y at the end. It's not knee.
Okay.
You know the mean people in the comments are going to pick up on that now. There's always some mean person.
Hey, Butch Wolf says you already got the movie rights. Simply Frank, the movie. One man can make a difference.
Rex Wilson.
Oh man, we'll find a new name for Frank. With that being said, guys, thank you all for listening in, and again, subscribe, like, share, spread the love, spread the word, and we'll be back on Friday as we break it down again. We're over and we're out. thecryptoschool.io. Take it away, myself.